I'm Rob Skinner, and this is the Rob Skinner Podcast. Today I'm talking to Dr. Al Baird. Al is an 85-year-old Christian living in Lancaster, California, who's not ready to call it quits. He is still preaching the word at 85. He truly has the Caleb spirit. He's preaching to a church in Bakersfield, California on the weekends for the summer and continuing to advance the gospel. Find out more on the Rob Skinner Podcast. Al, welcome back to the program.
Great to be back. Thanks, Rob.
Absolutely. Now, last time we talked, Al, I think we've talked a couple times now. You were in Phoenix. Now you're in Lancaster. Tell me why and when did you move to Lancaster?
Well, that's family related. I lost Gloria 8 years ago after 56 years, and so my youngest daughter Carrie and Steve moved to Lancaster to basically start leading the church. And after losing Gloria, my 3 daughters became my mothers, and so I got a call from my 3 daughters together after Steve and Carrie moved to Lancaster, and they said, "Dad, we made a decision." I said, "Yeah, what's that?" Said, "You're going to come live close to one of the 3 of us. Take your pick." And so I had my choice of going either to San Francisco or Lancaster or Virginia. And of course, being 22 years in LA and Lancaster is only an hour and a half from LA, that was the obvious choice. So here I am. That was 3 years ago.
Okay. And so are you living with Steve and Carrie or are you living on your own?
No, I'm in a over 55 community apartments, about 10 minutes from Steve and Carrie.
Okay. So have you converted all those members of that 55 plus community?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay. We talked a little bit on the phone recently and it kind of shocked me. You are preaching the word. Can you tell me, how did you get involved with the church in Bakersfield, California?
Well, Bakersfield is about an hour and a half from Lancaster. And through the year, the 2 churches have been sort of sister churches. Lancaster's always sort of helped out Bakersfield. And Bakersfield history has been up and down. It was started by LA years ago. They've gone up and down. At maximum, I think through the years, probably got to 150, down to where it is now, about 50. And no minister stays there long term. I think the most recent minister that was there stayed like 3 years and left 3 years ago. And so they've been without a full-time minister for 3 years. So their leadership group approached our leadership group in Lancaster back first of the year, said, "We need some help." And so Lancaster said, "Okay, fine. How can we help?" And said that we're open to whatever. And said, "Well, first of all, we need help preaching because the guy who's preaching, which is a super guy, retired. Blaine is his name, Blaine Lyons, and his wife Eve, and they sort of lead the church there. But it was a discouraged group, kind of lost their dream, and so basically the Lancaster leadership asked if I would go for a few weeks to preach, and so I said, "Yeah, that'd be interesting." About an hour and a half drive, and so I agreed to 12 weeks of doing that. That was back in February. And so as 12 weeks started to end, they then said, "Could you keep coming until we were able to hire a couple?" And so the goal was to get their contribution up. Like I said, it was a discouraged group. Out of 50 members, 20 were giving nothing contribution-wise. And the people were coming late to serve. It was a discouraged group. And so I just started preaching about dreaming again and whatever. And so the contribution has since doubled. They now have enough to hire a couple. Contribution is growing. People are coming on time, early. So the Spirit's really turning around. So if it were 40 years ago and Gloria were still around, I'd be very tempted to go here and lead because it's a great group of people. Half of them were converted in LA because it's it's a little further away than a bedroom community because it's about a 2-hour drive to LA. But so Here we are, and we're actually this weekend interviewing a couple. We've got five couples that have applied for the role, and we're interviewing our first. And they look very attractive. They're young and have no children, and would be perfect. Bakersfield is the fifth largest city in California. It has about 400,000 people. Metropolitan area is probably 600,000. It's got a state university and also a community college that has combined about 30,000 students. So it's a really great opportunity. I have no problem seeing a church of at least 500 there within 5 to 10 years.
I think it's awesome. That okay. That's okay. When you mention that, it's five. I mean, Al, you're still dreaming. 500 people. You go, oh my gosh, you're not just holding on. You are still dreaming. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's some really good things happening. We've had two marriages recently. We just I just preached this last Sunday on transitions because it was obviously graduation time. But we had 8 graduates between eighth grade to high school and high school to graduation, and one graduated from college. So I mean, it's really great opportunities there, and some super people. Like I say, just pretty much lost their dream, thinking nothing was ever going to change because no full time person stayed there. So what we're looking for is a couple who will agree, at least as far as anybody can agree, to shoot for 10 years staying here rather than using it as a jumping off place to somewhere else.
Exactly. Someone to really sink their teeth into it. Now, did you say that the attendance doubled since you started preaching?
No, I said the contributions doubled.
The contributions doubled. That's awesome. Okay. What was your goal going in there? You walk in that situation, it's been without leaders, full-time leaders or paid ministers for 3 years. What was your game plan walking into that situation? How did you kind of go, okay, this is what we're going to do?
Get people to dreaming again, believing things could change. I mean, I saw Bakersfield as a tremendous opportunity. It's a gold mine waiting to happen, to be mined. But people just lost their vision and just basically were just hanging on, showing up to church. There's no real discipling going on. There were no small groups. So we got small groups going again, and just getting people back to believing that people could be one. For people would have the excuse, hey, there's so many large churches here already, nobody's open. Well, the truth is, I mean, even with all the people who are quote in churches, that's only 20% of the population. You know, 80% don't go to church,
Exactly.
like most places. I mean, so it's always an opportunity. It's just a matter of having a vision.
You're 85 years old. I mean, born in 1940. You're well past the age when people are thinking about doing something like this. What's driving you? I mean, what's getting you up? What's motivating you these days? What gets you up in the mornings?
Well, I mean, things like this. I mean, I've been leading a small group here in Lancaster. I enjoy that, but that's without Gloria. I mean, there's you got a lot of free time, and it's easy to just what am I doing here? I mean, what I really want to do is go be with Gloria. That's my real goal. But when you see opportunities like Bakersfield, man, it's just an opportunity waiting to happen.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about Gloria. You lost her 8 years ago. How have you I said, made peace with that? How have you navigated that? Just like, how do you get move on with life? Like, what's helped you?
You don't make peace with that. You don't get over that. I mean, after 56 years, no one thought of Al, no one thought of Gloria. It was always Al and Gloria, and everything we did was a partnership. And you can stay busy. There's plenty to do in the daytime, but you still come home and you're by yourself. And my real goal now is I just want to go be with her. But in the
Mm.
meantime, you got to stay busy and have some vision and enjoy life. So, I mean, I'm not despondent. I'm not depressed. I never went through depression or whatever, but it's just not the same after 56 years.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. So aside from preaching the word on Sundays and effectively leading a church, what do you do to keep yourself occupied? What do you do for fun?
Well, I mean, I've got a number of guys that basically, discipling relationship that we do. I mean, pretty much every day I have things to do or people to be with. So it's not like I say it's not boring at all that way. Except still, you come home to an empty house. It's just you. I mean, that's the yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. So you just come back and that's where it hits you. Just you're by yourself in the evening
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I mean, it's just you're eager to get out and start doing something again. The
Exactly.
next
Yeah. So you're not out in the pickleball court, I guess.
well, I think I'm a little past at 85, but past the pickleball. So
Okay.
my goal is staying upright right now.
That's right. Okay.
Although I'm in good health though. So
You look good. You look fantastic. What do you wish other people in the senior range or let's say 60 plus range would know? Okay, what advice would you give to that cohort?
well, I think it's always the question is how can God use me? And obviously that changes at every phase of life. And retirement, we've always felt like retirement is a great opportunity if people plan to. You suddenly have the opportunity to be full time minister, and the church doesn't have to support you. So and giving people those kind of dreams. We just had one person there in Bakersfield retire, and trying to getting him to think, man, you could now be full time in the ministry.
That's right.
And how can you can use your time. So retirement is a great if people have their health. I mean, obviously, in many situations when people retire, they already starting to have some health issues. But there are a lot of people that don't have health issues and really are wondering, what am I going to do with my time now that I retire? And so there's just great opportunities to use them.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think it's fantastic what you're doing because I think this whole concept of retirement, it's it's tricky. I mean, you worked hard, it's every person has to decide what they're going to do, but at the same time, it can be dangerous spiritually if you kind of retire spiritually where you kind of lower your expectations to the point where your heart grows cold. Anything that has helped you to keep the fire burning, Al? I mean, you've been a Christian a long time, married a long time, you're still fired up. Any practices that you find useful to keep your heart, your love for Jesus growing and not growing cold? Could you share that?
Well, again, I use the word dreaming a lot, but everybody needs a dream. I mean, why you get up in the morning? What do you want to do? And we've talked about retirement for years in the church because you obviously we as people were getting older, what are you going to do when you retire? And most people are thinking, their cruises, their vacations, their all those kind of things, which is fine to enjoy some of those things, but it- when you start losing a dream, you get in real trouble. I mean, used to even statistics would say that people retired without a dream would be dead in 2 years. Everybody needs a dream, and if people early on can think about, okay, when I am now not going to work every day, what can I do with my time? How can God use that time? And so, I mean, not everyone is equipped to lead a small group or whatever, but people can still do things for the kingdom. And it's always just asking, how can God use me where I am at this point in my life? I mean,
Yeah.
even people with health issues could ask the same question. How can I be useful?
Uh-huh.
Phone ministry, whatever. So there's always things that God can show you that you can do that can help other people and can grow the kingdom.
Awesome. I remember talking to Irene Gurganus, and she came back from Japan after doing missionary
Oh,
work
absolutely. Yeah.
in her 70s, and then came back to San Diego because of she broke her hip going on the subway, and she started a group called Job's Daughters and converted a ton of women in her
Oh,
senior living
absolutely.
facility.
Yeah. I mean,
Stop that lady.
George, the whole George and Irene story is one of our hero stories, but Irene especially, when she came back and George died, that what she did was absolutely incredible because she not only started that ministry for the older women, which grew, I think, to about 100 women. She grew the ministry was for women with non-Christian husbands, and they grew to about 100. But she always was consumed with sharing her faith. And even when she was in a wheelchair, she got college students to come take her wheelchair out to campus and share her faith on campus. She would do that every week. And to the time that she passed, I mean, she was just a fireball. That never changed in her. And I have preached about George and her and their whole story many, many times because probably more than anybody I know, God used them in such incredible ways all through their life, all from time initially going to Japan to coming back and going back to Japan and then losing George and then what she still did in San
I know.
Diego.
I remember when we planted a church in Ashland, Oregon, small town, basically, self-supported, selling real estate. And I got a phone call one day. I was out knocking doors, and she said, "Hey, this is Irene Gurganus. I heard you're planting a church there, self-supporting." She said, "I just want to encourage you. I think what you're doing is great. In the Church of Christ, we had, a plan to get a church in every place where there's at least a gas station and a small store, and that's what I'd love to see happen again." And it was so encouraging to me. I just, few people understood what I was trying to do, but she got it immediately, and her encouragement just made a world of difference to me in kind of starting something experimental there in Southern Oregon.
Well, they were a
Yeah,
totally unique couple. And she, after losing George, she kept going for lots of years.
that's right. That's right. Well, Al, thank you so much for coming on the program. Thank you for your great work. I'm praying for you and really excited about what you're doing. I'd love to see you dreaming, and I want to follow in your footsteps. I want to see the same kind of fire that you have 25 years down the road. So, all the best to you.
Well, thank you. Pray for Bakersfield.
I sure will. And thanks for listening to the Rob Skinner podcast. My goal is to inspire you to live a no regrets life, make this life count, and multiply disciples, leaders, and churches. I want to ask you to join the Fast for Revival that I'm trying to spearhead on June 28th through July 1st. I'm asking for Christians around the world to join me for 3 days of prayer and fasting for revival. First, personally, that we change, that we grow, that we become the people God wants us to be. And two, that our churches grow and multiply and grow to 500 or even beyond. And so that's June 28th through July 1st. I hope you'll join me for the Fast for Revival. Have a great day and make this life count.